Hey, you know, I've always kind of thought that I should have a hitch on the back of this truck. Pick point, you know, back here somewhere, because right now there's nothing here. It's just one beam that goes across, connecting the two ends. It used to be riveted together. Now it's got a bolt or two in it along with some rivets. But my buddy called and said, "Hey, I got a hitch for you." So I went and picked it up. And to tell you the truth, it's the right width. This one right here. It only came with one side plate though. That's kind of a problem. But I did go down to the scrap yard and grabbed another plate of steel. This one's a little thicker. That's 5/16 and this is 3/8, but they didn't have any 5/16, so that's the way it goes. But this hitch from the mounting surface to the mounting surface is exactly the frame width. So conceivably, I could build a plate to come up to the frame. But that drops this down way below the crossbar back there that has the lights on it. And I don't want this to be hanging down really low. So what I've decided to do with it is I've decided to cut holes in the frame. Let me show you where. I'm going to cut a square right here. This is back to the back fender here. And that will allow me, since I cut these off, and here I had it sitting on so I could just pull it off and show you. Let me grab a hammer. All right, we're moving back, moving back. Okay, oops, sorry about that. Been jerking you all over the place. So I cut these off. And if I cut a square hole exactly this size in the frame, in fact, I'm going to use this as a template, I should be able to slide this through because the frame will come right to here. And I'll do the same on this side. I've already cut this one loose. So I'll pull it off and I'll be able to push it through one way and then push it back the other and get it sticking through the frame on both sides. And then I'll weld it up. It's going to be a little tight right here. That will be right against the bottom of the current frame rail back there. But this is going to stiffen it, and it's going to be perfect as a hitch back there. So I think with minimal work and not having to cut up this great big plate here, we'll be good to go. Let's see how it works out. There's the other end piece. Now, if you've looked at this closely when I show them to you, you'll see that I got a little overly aggressive with my grinder or cut-off wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the welder, weld these grooves flat, grind them smooth. It'll be done. And this is not that big a deal. And I wouldn't be really worried about it, but it bothers me that I cut so deep. So let's fix it. If I don't run out of welding gas first. Let's see, what do we want this on? Darn near as hot as I can get it with the how thick this metal is. But I've only got 35 or 30 gauge wire in here, so it's I can't turn it up as hot as I'd like it to be. Let me just put it that way. We might try a little bit more than recommended, just to see what happens. Well, that looks pretty good. We'll just run some beads like that, and it should be pretty easy to grind flat. Very little splatter, I like that. All right, I'll just grind them smooth and that'll be that. Still got a little gas left, that's a good thing. Oh, hey. I have a tip for you when you're welding. Shut off your gas, turn down your wire so it doesn't feed out, and then you can bleed the pressure off your regulator so it's not sitting there holding that hundreds or thousands usually pounds of pressure. And your regulator will last longer. The spring isn't, you know, beating itself up. And then loosen it up and shut off, leave the bottle shut off, and just loosen the regulator so the spring's not compressed. It'll last a lot longer. It's not perfect, but it makes me happy. There we go. Got her done. Okay, now we're going to go from welding and grinding. Maybe a little more grinding, or well, grinding right there. But we're going to go with the plasma cutter and cut the square holes. So that's next. After I take that spot right there off. In order to get down in here and cut a hole easily, I'm going to jack it up and get the tires off. But I wanted to show you something that I also need to do that I designed into this truck for a purpose. And that's the fender is actually pinned in place. This one's a little tight right at the moment, but I'll get it loosened up. Get it out of there. Once you get the pins out, the fender slides off. And the light you had mounted on the fender falls on the floor. Or set on the fender. But now I have lots of room, lots more room where I'm gonna cut that square. I don't think I even have to take my tire off. So let me get my plasma cutter over here and some flammable things out of the way, and we'll get to cutting. I'm just about ready to plasma cut this hole, but I looked to see what was behind there, and there's wires running for the lights and the backup lights and all that, so I had to protect them. I've got some metal shielding down in there, and hopefully that will protect those wires. And then I need to protect my eyes. And I'm going to try to freehand a square. That's probably not going to work out well. So let's give it a shot. You know, one of the issues with working in the garage in the winter is that's how stiff the hose is. It doesn't want to bend. And another issue with what I'm doing is that the glasses have already fogged up. And you got to have dark glasses when you're plasma cutting, or a dark face shield or something. I do have a shield, but it is so scratched up, it looks like I'm looking through a black fog. So glasses here, and hopefully they won't get so fogged I can't see what I'm doing. See which way will be best for following this. This way, probably bringing it through this way. Might be what we want. Well, let's just pull the trigger and find out what happens, right? Not wanting to cut through that very well. That was a mess. Every time you saw the sparks coming back at me because it wasn't penetrating completely through. And it doesn't really look like a square. But let's get a hammer and knock it out of there, and then we can grind, file, and make it square. I was going to say make it round, but we don't want a round hole. We want a square one. I have a feeling it's going to take a few more passes in a couple of places. It's cut through on this side and this, but right here, not so much. There we go. That's going to break through. I'm going to let it cool a little bit because that wire is back there. So I'm going to let it cool. Then I'm going to take my shielding out. Then I'm going to pound it the rest of the way through. Got it in. Think that'll work? Or maybe it's sticking out a little too far and upside down. I don't know. But I got the one hole cut and ground and filed. And now it's time to do the other side. We got the holes cut. Let me show you. There's one right there. But if you look through there, there's an exhaust pipe there. Same thing on the other side here. So we're gonna drop the exhaust, and it's not that big a deal. We got some bolts over there for the hangers. Got some clamps in front of the mufflers. We'll undo those hangers, undo the clamps, and drop them out of there. And then we'll get that, get the hitch in there. And that looks kind of purple because I got some rust remover on it. It was really rusted when I got it, and I wire brushed it. And then I put some what's called corrosion X on it. Prevents the corrosion from spreading, and it's a lubricant too. So I cleaned all that off. Now I have some rust converter on it to get rid of any remaining rust. I'll paint it after I get the exhaust dropped, and then we'll put it up there. So let's get busy. I actually suspected that I would have to lower the exhaust when I was putting it on here, so I didn't put a hanger at the end of the pipes because I knew that was going to be the place where things would change. And now I'm glad I didn't, because I only got to deal with one of them now. Oh, there it is, all the way off. exhaust pipe gone. All right, let's get the other one off. Sharon's gonna be happier when I get a lift. Oh, I hope I get a lift. Oh, that was horrible, sorry. But they're both out. We've got a rivet hanging down right here. It's not holding anything on. And I'm going to try to push it up because we're going to need every bit of clearance we got right here. So I'm going to hit it with an impact. It's going to be loud, but let's see if it'll work. There it went. Awesome. Right up here, this tube sticking through is stopping me from moving this all the way in. So I'm going to sand a little bit on it and try not to hit that wire. See what we can do. It's barely touching right there. There it goes. All right. A little bit more. All right, now we're hitting right here. And I thought we would. And I'm gonna notch this, I think. So that's next. I'll think on it for a minute, but I think I'll probably just notch this a little bit. It's only got to come in about a ½ inch. And that'll be good. So let me think on it and I'll get right back with you. Yeah, I decided I'm gonna cut this out. I've marked it. Equal distance in the hole. I'm gonna give it about a ½ inch notch. See if it'll scoot all the way in then. And I'll probably even weld this to this. Because this cross member across here is gonna be much stronger than this. This is 1/8 steel. This is a 1/4 inch tube, which will definitely be stronger. So this will be carrying all the, all the weight if there's a trailer on it. But just welding it to here will just add a little bit more strength to the tongue. Even though it'll be sticking through the sides here and should be fine. But let me get my ear protection on and plug things in and get to cutting. Not pretty, but functional. It looks like we need to take off a little more right here. Oh, let's hope for success. Well, it's a new day, and the paint's dry, sort of. I taped up my wiring here and here so that if I weld here, it won't get burned, and if I weld here, it won't get burned. Painted up any bare metal that I'd created, so I think it's time to stick this sucker in there for the last time, and then we'll weld it from the outsides, I believe. I don't see my hammer under here. I thought I left it here. Oh well. We'll see what we can do. We'll see how badly we scratch it up. I really want about an 1/8 inch sticking through on each side. Give me a nice spot to weld on. Using my fingers here to be able to tell. That feels right. Okay. Now I'll actually measure it. Or actually, I know this light that I have back here is centered, and it has a middle light right there. So that is really close. It could go that way just a hair more, but I like exactly how much I have sticking out. Yeah, that's good. The center light is right there, and that's dead center on that. So that's where we're going to weld it. Now I've considered putting a plate here, just across these two, or in between, and maybe that'll happen. But I think we're just going to weld this in place where it is now, and see how it looks, and go from there. Alright, trying to get some of the welding done here. Get some light on my subject. That was a good run. I think I've got it set just right, and by tightening down the tension on my wire feed, it was able to pick it up quite a bit. Now this is a lot thinner edge right here, so I'm just going to work it across in tacks and then take a look at it and see what else I need to do to it. Sounded good for a while. Nope. There we go. Oh, I hate welding upside down. Well, it took a bit to get that adjusted the way I want it, get the heat right. But once I did, it's in there good. And we can get the other side, so it'll look even better. And then we'll take a look at it when we're done. Well, we have a hitch. I think it'll work pretty good. It's solidly welded. I'll even give you a light here. Solidly welded on this side. It's welded up here. And it's welded on this side. That's never coming out. And it's directly to the frame. So we can probably put about as much weight as this truck could hold on there. Originally it was a class 5 hitch. So it had like a 5,000 pounds without a load leveler, and with a load assist it had 12,000 pound rating, 500 pound tongue weight without, and I don't remember, 1,000 pounds, 1,200 pounds with it. But we're just gonna put probably, I just have that hitch on there just to make sure it fits. And after that we're probably gonna go with some sort of clevis type hitch or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you like, and everybody be safe out there and be good to one another. Good night.